All right, ladies and gentlemen of Speed Gaming, happy Memorial Day, and welcome to the grand finals of the Dash Spring Invitational 2024 Randomizer Tournament. We've got an excellent match for you today, a best of three between Zeb316, who is our number 3 seed, versus derp, who is our number 5 seed. Both of these players coming off a very impressive 2-0 performance each in the semifinals. And also, I think that these two have played each other a little bit in the past. I am joined today by WeatherFan21, also known as Adam. Adam, how you doing?
Good, Kip. How are you? Happy to be here. And yes, happy Memorial Day to everybody. Thank you to all those who have served, are serving, and potentially will serve in the future. Very important day here in the U.S. for us, Kip, but a very important day here as well for these two races because someone's getting massive bragging rights and going to call themselves the Spring Invitational Champion for Dash.
Agreed. Not only that, but I'm pretty confident both of these runners are very, very strong and have had some really nice tournament performances over the last few years. But I don't think either one of them have won a randomizer tournament in the last few years. So whoever wins today will get some nice bragging rights moving forward. It'll be great.
Yeah. Both racers very strong. We're already seeing the moon fall down Blue Tower. And for those who might just be joining us for the first time, you know, Kip, it's Memorial Day weekend. People are out hanging out. If they're just coming in for the first time, this is a Chozo randomizer, so we'll get into that in a second. And it's full area, so you see the fancy looking map there. So, Kip, kind of tell everyone out there, just real quickly, what they're expecting.
Yeah, so just in case you guys haven't seen some of the races this weekend or need a reminder, um, basically the combination of settings that we use for this tournament are fairly straightforward. Chozo has been used for several years. Chozo is a similar to major minor kind of item split, but there's less major locations. And the philosophy behind Chozo is if you only collected Chozo items, you would still be able to beat the game. So in addition to the major upgrades and the beams, there's actually 2 regular missiles, 2 supers, one of which we just saw, 1 power bomb, 3 E-tanks, and 1 reserve. Those are like the major items. And then we got full area randomization. So you got the 36 portals. The only other wrinkle that we added is you can see in the top right, the number 20. That is the current charge beam damage for each player. They started with a starter charge beam that does 1/3 damage. This one is a mode or a setting that we call Starter Plus. There's 1 charge beam on a logical location, and then there's another charge beam upgrade out in the wild somewhere. If you find one of the two, it'll bump you up to 2/3 damage. If you find both of them, you'll have full charge beam damage. And then we lowered the minor distribution from 321 to 211. So there's a little bit bigger emphasis on being selective about which minor items you pick up. Supers are a lot more valuable, and a lot of times you end up seeing a little bit longer boss fights. So a little bit more strategic choices on the sort of micro end of this.
Absolutely. We'll get 2 missiles, and like you said, our 1 major super to get things started here in our 2-1-1 format. So, Kip, I gotta ask, because not only you were also in this tournament, but like, as a commentator for this finals, I know I want to see some craziness. I want to see some lower Northfair elevators found first. What are you looking to see early on in this first race?
That's a good question. So right now, real quick, they are skipping one of the major Chozo locations because they don't have an explosive to get there, the 230 location. Hopefully they'll find something here and won't have to abandon it. They might end up finding Screw, which would not let them get it, but let them progress to some of the portals. But yeah, I don't know, Adam, it kind of depends. I don't mind seeing some craziness from time to time. Oh, it looks like they're going to be forced to take the right portal here.
Yeah.
I don't mind seeing some craziness from time to time, but I also don't mind seeing seeds that play not quite as complex because I feel like the skill set needed to do well at both are kind of different. And so I think if you want to be a consistently strong randomizer player, you kind of need to be like, a quality player at both types of or multiple types of seeds. Luckily for us, I think both of these players are. So I think no matter what happens, we're bound to see some interesting plays here.
Absolutely. I mean, can these racers get any more synced up? I mean, this is just, oh, well, I say it and then Zeb misses a wall jump. But it's all good. Here we go. Like you said, Kip, we're going to be heading to the right 2 doors first. And we will see. We're going to see Derp head down to Criteria 4. And our first area is going to be... Is it? Oh, okay. A red Brinstar door. And both racers will head here into Red Brinstar. 6 doors in Red Brinstar. This is very helpful information to have.
Yeah, both of them going to check the spacer location first before they even check the portals on the right. I think that's a pretty good play. They're trying to secure some item that will help them out in some way. Unfortunately, they don't find anything here, so they can technically access the major item at the top of Red Brinstar, but the problem is if they get up there without a power bomb, they can't get back out because they don't have they don't have anything to open the orange door, which is not necessarily a problem if one of the 2 portals up there help them get somewhere they need to be, but technically it could be a problem. So it looks like they're going to go back and check these 2 portals first and just kind of get the lay of the land. Maybe they'll find like a green Brinstar and kind of have an easy access to some extra items.
Green Bryn would be the one. Well, there's Main Street. That's an interesting find. And you're right. You don't want to get soft lock, especially this early on when they're so close to each other. You see Derp doing just a little bit of extra farming.
One thing I will note that maybe you might not be aware of, Adam, because I know you don't like play regularly, but okay, good. That got us on the right side or the left side of Criteria.
Yep.
But we actually added in a couple of extra save stations to where you can actually check some of these portals, and it's still slow, but it doesn't like ruin your game. So there's there's a save station right on the other right side of that door on Main Street. So if you want to check out the map station, you can go down there without fear of being soft locked. And then we've got one before X-Ray, and we've got another one at the top of the Red Fish location at the top of West Meridia. So that helps out a little bit.
Oh, that really helps out. All right, Turian door. Okay, are we just going to find every West Meridia door? Main Street found. Tree Aqueduct found.
They might get forced into taking that map station, depending on what happens. It's not forced yet, but it could happen.
Yeah, this is looking like we want to get to that door.
Not the friendliest start. Okay, look, we now have the players doing 2 separate things. Zeb is going to go check this portal. My assumption is that he will probably take the save right here.
Yep.
And then Derp instead is going to go and see if he can find a portal here at Red Tower, or if he might want to just go ahead and go up top and see what's at the major location.
And there's the other save station, like you mentioned. There's the save from Derp.
Oh, I've been sitting here talking about the saves. He can do this without getting soft lock because you can save yourself down here. I forgot that's one of the reasons we added that right there.
Kip, you and the Dash Command devs are just doing amazing stuff. And there's the green Brinstar door. That's what you want to see. And I missed the map station door. Where did that take us?
It took us to wreck ship left side, which is actually like a place you'd kind of like to be. The problem is if he actually went in there and did anything, he wouldn't be able to get out if he didn't find like high jump boots or gravity over there. So Zeb is restarting that. There's one of our charge upgrades. There's our large coin.
Gotcha. Folks, I can boost my microphone gain up if you would like. I see a couple people having issues with my sound quality. Seems like I'm coming in a little soft here. Let's see if I can fix that. We have the power to do that! Alright, I raised my gain. We'll see how that works. Derp now continues to find a few items here.
Yeah, Derp got an out of logic power bomb, which is very helpful. Now since they have all 3 of the minor items, they can kind of comfortably manage whatever they need to.
So again, for logic reasons, we're looking for that one Chozo power bomb, or of course just regular bombs. Kind of makes me think logically, Kip, that we're not supposed to be here yet.
I think we are. I mean, basically, if you like look at what DJ said in the chat, he's correct. Technically speaking, there was nothing stopping us from getting to this location. There's also nothing stopping you from getting to the top of Red Brinstar, so it seems very likely that the some explosives are at the top of Red Bryn, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will.
Also, another cool, interesting thing about Chozo that I think is pretty neat is you typically don't have that many energy tanks like you would in Major Minor, but they are out in the there are plenty of them off of the Chozo items, so it's kind of neat when you run into them and they can kind of help you out.
Off in the wild, and here we go from derp. High jump boots found. A very useful item. And this is the place you want to be early. I feel like in any area rando seed kip, you want to find any of the green Brinstar locations, because there's so many items. Can help out with majors, minors, reserves, you know, whatever. Like this is the place you want to be.
I agree. It's nice to go ahead and knock that out near the beginning of a run. Even if you don't end up finding anything overly useful, you at least know that it's elsewhere and you kind of have this done and don't have to return.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure. I agree with you.
So both racers have one of the 2 charge beam upgrades. That's huge. But again, it's only 40 damage, so it's only at 2/3 power. Derp's going to be the first one to reach Green Hill Zone, I guess we're calling this?
That's it.
It's Green Hill Zone like Sonic, and this is... Oh, hello, Upper North there.
Got some single chamber action. Let's see what we got down below here. I'm actually curious if this one, like, let's imagine that this one is like a dead end, like Torian or even like Lower Norfair, which they can't do right now. I wonder if Derp would immediately go back to Red Bryn to go up top, or if he would try to, like, I mean, he technically, I think it's out of logic right now, but I think he technically has enough energy to, like, check what's at single chamber. Oh, we got the bottom here of Retro.
Yeah, well, I think you're logically, we are going to probably head back here to Red Brinstar. At least that's what I would do.
That's what I would do too. Let's see what Derp chooses to do here.
Also, Derp did not check the minor item over here in Green Hills either. Yep, and skipping it again. So, just to recap, for those of you that also have you watching on your phone, the area randomizer, we have 1 door access to the wreck ship. That was over at the map station room in West Meridia. We have 3 of the 4 West Meridia doors that have checked and linked. And 4 of the 6 Red Brinstar doors have been checked. And all of Green Brinstar checked as well. And just by looking at the map, this definitely seems like we should be heading back to Red Brinstar, or maybe that wreck ship door is forcing us over to the wreck ship.
So right now, logically, it's in play, and with the high jump boots, you can go to the other side. Like you're able to get out of the right side of wreck ship. The only problem is we don't know what else is over there. Like if that's a dead end, it would be bad. But yeah, technically right now with the information that we know, it is something that is logically in play. But it looks like Derp is instead gonna go check these other portals at the top. Oh, maybe he's not. Oh, I guess he's
power bombs.
Yeah, I don't know why he would be farming power bombs right here. There's a power bomb at this frog right beneath him, but I would go up to the top first because you can reform power bombs and also get the item that's up there. I'm not really sure what he's doing here.
He's going to check X-ray. He just power bombed the door.
Yeah, I guess this is a pretty good play. I think it's a fine play. It's just it's something that he could have done it the other way around and possibly gotten an easier item.
Is this even in logic?
Let's see. This is not, no, but
I was gonna say, like,
but at the same time,
no grapple a space jump.
We're kind of at the point now where if you make the finals of one of these tournaments, like there's some tech that is not required, but like everybody knows and can do.
Exactly.
And this is what this is basically.
Yep, which does make sense. Ooh, no power bombs.
Yeah, he made a mistake here though because he didn't have another power bomb to get out. He's actually lucky that wasn't a good item.
Yeah.
I mean,
So this
wave
we
helps, but
yeah, we do have the wave beam location now, but Zeb over here just farming.
this is part of the reason I mentioned earlier that I felt like going up would be better
Hmm.
because you can farm your power bombs back up without having to re-enter that room repeatedly and have the shot at the item. And on top of that, if the portals are stuff that you still don't want to take, you're going to be coming back down probably to go to wreck ship anyway. So, but it's all good. He didn't get punished too bad for that.
Hmm.
Looks like Zeb is having a hard time getting a power bomb. This is
Not
not
one
having a
drop.
power bomb here is really, really painful.
Yeah.
And he forgot to manage. Like he could have before he came over to the right side. He could have gotten some extra ones from the fire fleas over there.
Yep.
See, there's
Oh,
that grapple beam.
there's grapple beam that puts wave in logic. Wow. Okay then.
Yeah, but like I was saying with Zeb, technically speaking, like this is not a situation that comes up very, very frequently, and I don't necessarily blame him because you could assume that it's possible that you don't need to farm enough anyway. I don't know what Derp is thinking right here. Why are you skipping all those power bombs, dude? Okay, there we go.
He heard you.
Sorry, that was just really surprising that he didn't farm every one of those. But yeah, Zeb could have gotten a few power bombs from the fire fleas on the left side. It would have taken a few seconds to go in there, but it would have avoided. How long has he been standing here?
Too long. He
Yeah.
finally gets one. So he is done. He's got his one power bomb, and we have found Lower Norfair right side. So the Lower Norfair exit connects to Red Bryn. That could be a really helpful door later on in the seed. And the upper Red Bryn. Crocomire door.
He might as well take it. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what Derp is doing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Kip. Hell runs on logic or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how many tanks for each one. Part of the reason I don't know off the top of my head, and I say this as nicely as possible, is just because, like, a lot of times in a race, the decisions that a racer might choose to make, sometimes they're related to what you know the logic is, but sometimes it's just like, I can do this, and I'm here, and I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
So a lot of times, I have my threshold, but I don't remember what the exact threshold is.
Yep, and you know, this is exactly like you said before. These two racers here in the finals have played so many rando seeds, have competed in so many tournaments. You know, they know exactly what their threshold is for completing these types of hell runs. And this item will be another super. That's huge. 15 supers now. Would like to see a few more power bombs, or at the very least get our bombs. And Derp gets up with 28 energy.
Those are rookie numbers. I've done it on less.
Well, Derp just said, I could take a bonk here and go down to 8. No problem.
I was hoping for an E-Tank for Derp here. Make his life a little bit easier, and then also be able to check Ice Beam without having to farm. Oh, there's the logical power bomb.
Wow. That's just crazy. Both racers' movement also very on point so far.
Not a huge fan of skipping the missiles here. I don't necessarily think you should be seeking them out all the time, but at the same time, like if they're in the room with you, especially until you get a stronger beam.
Yeah, it's free. They were free missiles. All right, 2 more doors here. Let's see what business center leads. Okay.
Oh, that's actually relatively rare. We've got an intra intra-zone connection there. So
That
Upper
is
North Fair to
right.
Upper North Fair.
And that's East Meridia. Derp
And
not happy about those doors.
now Derp realizes that he's going to have to farm.
Yep. Look at his face. Sorry, Derp.
See, here's the thing, though. The wreck ship play is still in logic.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I'm hoping that they find something that progresses them here, but it might be that they're not even really intended to be here at this exact moment.
Yeah.
You can do, someone in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can do all of wreck ship without a single power bomb.
Ooh.
So you don't, there's no logical requirement for anything in wreck ship for a power bomb. Literally just bombs. Like, for example, if bombs was the item, like if bombs was like an item that was accessible to them at some point, they wouldn't have needed that power bomb right there, just for wreck ship alone. So yeah, I'm not sure. Apparently, Mass is saying something about the high jump boot was out of logic, but I don't even remember where they got it. The high jump boot, I think, was in Green Brinstar, but they got it out of logic, but it's actually in logic because they could have come here and gotten the power bomb and then returned there and gotten it. So, like, I'm pretty sure that means that wreck ship is technically in play, but maybe not. We'll see.
Another super missile.
Yeah, Derp's got plenty of energy here. This should be pretty comfy.
Yep.
Also, I think they had enough energy to do the single chamber, so like they both chose to come over here. Derp did not kill the. There it is, the Sova. So it looks like this side did not help them much. It looks as though the logical thing right now would either be the wreck ship play or the right side of Upper North Fair. So this is actually a really rough seed.
Yeah.
I feel for them, but you know, this is the championship. This is the kind of championship match that, you know, is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're kind of stuck over here, aren't they?
They kind of are. So now the question is on 2 energy tanks, do you even try racing through Cathedral to Bubble Mountain and hope that something is there? I don't think you can do it on 2, can you?
No. What I would do is I would take the portal at the top to Lava Dive, and then Lava Dive would give me, like, assuming you have 2 full energy tanks, you can, and in this case 3 with a reserve, they can run from Lava Dive to the, assuming they're careful, to the farm room beneath Bubble Mountain.
Yep.
That's what Derp's about to do.
Yep.
I don't love this on high jump boots, though. I practice a lot of my strats without high jump boots because you're not guaranteed to have them. So if I was doing this, I would actually probably have turned them off. But assuming Derp's got anything in the reserve, he should be fine without a major mistake right here.
Oh, that might be it for Derp.
He needs to pause. Yeah, he missed it.
Yep, he missed the shot, and that will do it. So this puts Zeb slightly back in the lead. When was Derp's last save?
He saved at the
okay,
like before he went up, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. So this will be Zeb's turn to try the same thing.
He did have it. He just made a mistake and didn't hit one of the jumps.
Yep.
He also took a little too long in the and by the way, this is not me criticizing. I'm just like pointing out like tangibly what happened. The reason he ran out of time was because he spent a little too much time in the Magdalite room. So, which is completely understandable. I'm not convinced that every single player has like super strict strats in that room because it doesn't come up super often, but it can occasionally, and when it does, it's an important room.
Absolutely.
I don't mind this play. I actually think this is pretty smart. He's just going to try to go to the refill right here. This is not the logical path, but this will definitely work. I like this play a lot.
I mean, it makes sense.
If I were in derp's position, I would probably go do Bubble Mountain, even though it's a little slow, just because I'm already right here. The only other option I can think of that's really at your disposal is there's 230 and there's Gauntlet, and then there's the wreck ship. But he doesn't know that wreck ship is at the map station.
No, he doesn't have that information. But he knows that's the only other viable door he hasn't checked. So let's see, where is derp going to head is going to be the question. Oh, you know what door's open to us, Kip, that we forgot about? Green Hill Zone.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. This is the kind of situation, though, where, like, you know, seeds like this definitely happen. I'm not sure why derp is redoing this. I don't really think wave is worth the time investment here. But anyway, but you got to remember not to panic, because technically your opponent is dealing with the same set of circumstances. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got to remember that, like, even though it feels bad for you, it's probably pretty rough for them too.
Right, and it's a matter of how you're going to get the advantage over your opponent. derp clearly thinking that wave is somehow going to give him a bit of an advantage here over Zeb. I mean, I get it, it's our first beam, but in my opinion, the weakest of the beams without anything else in combination with it.
It definitely has the
X factor's nice.
It doesn't have zero utility, but it typically has the least utility. I mean, it depends, though. I mean, technically, Spacer doesn't have any utility, like, in these settings. So there is some utility, but just as an in general, I would prefer to see Ice or Plasma before Wave or Spacer.
Agreed.
But with these settings, I mean, like, you know, the Wave Beam is going to be a little bit more important. So it might be that he can get the time back based on the damage increase.
Yep. And keep this in mind, we're 26 minutes into the seed. There is not a lot of progress so far in terms of majors. Like, we've got Charge Beam, obviously we started with. Wave, Morph, High Jump, and Grapple. We don't even have bombs yet.
Would this be a good time for me to announce that the Dash devs secretly in the shadows implemented seed speeds? So this happens to be a very slow speed. I'm just kidding, by the way.
Yeah, so derp's gonna head right back on up here into Criteria. Grapple gets us to Moat.
It does. You know what? I forgot about Moat.
I think Moat's... I'm gonna guess Kraid's Lair.
Ooh, that's a nice power bomb too.
Nice find.
When you get to your 15th one, even though you don't typically do a ton of crystal flashing in Chozo, but if you need it, it's there. And then on top of that, if you never find ice, oh, this is hilarious.
The back of the red ship. Well, this is where the seed wants us to go. If it wasn't the front, we're going in the back.
How about that? I am curious what's at 230 and Gauntlet here. But, you know, neither one of them are required, and they can't be a suit. So, anyway, looks like derp is going to find a way to progress the seed. Let's see what we got here.
Yep. Definitely the longer way into Wreck Ship, obviously. And Zeb also going to go here for Wave Beam. Derp looking nice so far.
Yeah, nice job so far. This is one of my least favorite pathings in Randomizer.
It's like everything from here all the way through the Forgotten Highway in East Meridia is just, it's long, it's just a connector casually to get you from Wreck Ship to Meridia casually. But for racing and randos, it's just like, they're just extra rooms.
That's a great point, Adam. But, you know, I got to say, for a finals match, even though this one's been not the kindest seed, it has been an entertaining one.
Agreed. Oh, even more power bombs. Very nice find.
Zeb in particular would like to see that. I had a race in one of the rounds. I think it was my first race in round 2, maybe. Or maybe it was against DJ, I can't remember. But I ended up crystal flashing to get through Botwoon, which doesn't happen a ton in Chozo. But the reason I mentioned Zeb is because he's known as one of the people who's most comfortable with that trick and gets it very quickly. So I'm sure that's something that he will have in his back pocket if he decides to break it out.
For sure. And now, Kip, you mentioned it earlier. The boss fights. Just because of everything we've seen here, to be able to find, we got what? One of the 2 charge beam upgrades, so the charge beam is going to do full damage. But with 45 missiles and 20 supers, this Phantoon fight shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, the problem is I don't remember how versed Derp is with the X Factor strats, but he had a rough go of it on that first round, and it really cost him a lot of time, but looks like he's recovering. He should be able to get a regular 3-round with the missiles at this point. And Phantoon bailing him out with back-to-back fast. I don't think I got a single fast the entire tournament this time. I'm bummed. What do you got to do to get Phantoon to help you out?
Ask that to every runner of Super Metroid ever.
Seriously.
You gotta hassle the devs, says Kupo.
True. True. All right. Well, I'm eagerly awaiting these items. Let's see what we got here.
Yep, a lot of items now that the wreck ship is open.
There we go.
Gravity suit!
Now we're cooking.
Yeah, now that puts our 10,000 Meridian doors in logic. Okay, not really 10,000, but there were so many to start off the seed. Huge find.
You know what the irony is I agree with what Zeb chose to do earlier when he found the portal on the left and then reset it, but like he found that portal like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If he'd have just gone for it and then found gravity, it would have been a totally different ball game. But I still think he made the right decision.
I agree with you. Because like you said, like there's so many ifs, right? Like if this wasn't a finals, okay, maybe you take the risk, but there were so many ifs about getting out of there, what's in the wreck ship, is there going to be anything of importance? Just pretty huge to get things started.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wreck ship full of goodies.
Sorry about that. DJ making a great point that, he did not have any explosives at the time, so he would have needed to have found one to be able to get in and out, so that's a good point. But you're right about being excited about Plasma. Plasma, especially with starter charge beam, very valuable. If you look up at that top right number, 500 is excellent as a damage output for Mother Brain and even Ridley. So technically speaking, now you really can consider like, okay, I don't really have to have that many more miners because the value is not going to be nearly what it would be with a lot less. So Plasma, very powerful find there.
Absolutely.
So Derp clearly ahead right now. Technically not in go mode though. Needs various suit and a way to through the Botwoon hallway, assuming he chooses to do something other than the Crystal Flash. But he's got a multi-minute kind of head start here relative to Zeb. My assumption is that Zeb will probably check the E-Tank location too. Even if Zeb skipped it, he would save some time, but he would lose a lot of it back because of the beam upgrade. So Derp is in a pretty commanding position. He doesn't know this, but what would help him the most would be like if the seed kind of went fairly straightforward from this point forward, that would really help him.
Absolutely. I find it interesting though Derp didn't go for the bowling check. I know it's an out-of-the-way check, but it is a Chozo check. What happens if that's Varia?
If it's Varia, he skipped it. That's where like the meta kind of comes into play. We talked a little bit about this yesterday when I was on comms with Kupo. Generally speaking, in most major, minor, and Chozo split seeds in competitive Super Metroid randomizer racing, most of the time people are just flat skipping bowling and hoping for the best.
Makes sense,
because
yeah.
it's pretty slow. However, I was making the point that I feel like it gets skipped slightly too much. Like I don't think it's great to go there all the time, but I feel like sometimes it's a decent play and people just kind of skip it by default no matter what. I don't know about this circumstance. I probably would have skipped it. I'm curious to see what Zeb does. Looks like Zeb is going to go to the back portal and not go check bowling. But if Zeb felt as though he was in a like really bad bind here and was way behind, the bowling check for Varia or even like speed or ice could actually like have gotten him back in the race. He doesn't know that, but anyway, so he's not making that play.
Comes down to that, the couple of route divergences we've seen so far. Zeb finding the front of wreck ship, and then Derp being the first to find the back of the wreck ship. And Zeb is probably not going to be too happy when he sees this door. Nice quick grade kill from Derp.
That was an interesting quick kill. The old 5 regular missiles to the eyeballs. Oh, there it is.
Vanilla.
So we are a Batuun hallway, either ice or speed away from go mode. Technically, if Derp wanted to do the Crystal Flash, he could actually just go ahead and do it. The problem there, though, it's not really a problem. It's just the reality is if you don't collect ice or speed, that means that, yes, you don't look around for items, but you lose a little bit of that time back at Mother Brain because you have to kill all the Zebs and you lose all that ammo. The good news is when you have a beam combination such as the one he currently has with 500 damage, it doesn't really punish you that bad.
Zeb skipping front of Gauntlet. Another item check, so...
Dude, if this is ice or speed, it's going to be...
Where is he going? He's going to 230.
Yeah, 230 is a Chozo major.
Ooh. Here we go, folks. What is this item going to be? Ice, speed, space? It's an energy tank.
And you can see on his face, Zeb is not pleased with that one.
Nope.
So what majors have we not checked yet? We haven't checked Bubble Mountain. We haven't checked bowling, and then we've got none of the 3 majors in Eastern Meridia. Oh, I take that back. Spring Ball can hold the logical ice beam or speed booster because they have the grapple beam.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, let's see what Derp chooses to do here.
Zeb's going for gauntlets. We got Gauntlet, the Lower Norfair checks, the East Meridia checks.
Good call. I forgot about Lower Norfair.
Yep. Couple of checks there. Crocomire. We haven't seen that one. The grapple check.
Yeah, I think at this point, unless I'm mistaken on the map, I think Croc is going to be at the extreme edges of one of the dead ends.
Most likely.
Yeah, I think it's Lower Norfair or East Meridia.
Yeah, those are the only 2 doors we haven't checked, and it's X-Ray. Interesting. Oh, that does give Zeb the power to microwave. And Derp ready to go back to Upper Norfair.
Personally, in his position, I would probably check the Bubble Mountain locations, but I mean, then again, I don't know. I guess it just depends on how you want to play it.
So Zeb only grabbed one of the power bombs. Derp now can fly through Norfair with no problem, and Derp is going to skip Bubble Mountain. Most likely headed to East Meridia. Plasma item check, obviously, locked until we defeat Dragon. So
no, technically he like this is actually kind of in some ways favorable for Derp because coming in on the right side of East Meridia, you have to pass the left portal to get to Batoon. Like it's literally like in the same room. And so you can check and see what it is. If it's Torian, well then you know, okay, cool. I got to come back here, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it just kind of is what it is. But the flip side is if it's Croc, then you know for sure that that Torian's on the other half of Lower Norfair, and you did this in the quote unquote correct order. I'm really curious about if this ends up being Croc. I wonder if Derp will do it. Or if he's just going to be like, nah, I'm just going to do this Crystal Flash and be done with it.
Well, let's talk about the repercussions of either. If it's Torian, like what DJ's saying in chat, you just reset. If it's Croc, then what do you do? Because you have Croc and you've got multiple item locations.
If it's Croc, I think it's fairly straightforward. If you're comfortable with the Crystal Flash, then you save at Aqueduct and you go for it, and then you just try to finish the game by finishing off all of Lower Norfair. If you're not comfortable with it, then you probably just gotta like kill Croc and hope that he's got ice or speed. All right, which one's it gonna be, Adam? What do you think?
I'm going Croc. If this is Torian, then whoever gen this seed was very rude.
It's Torian.
It's Torian. Look at Derp's face. That's just ridiculous. This seed is just rude.
Yeah, Derp didn't save. I'm actually kind of curious what he's doing here. I wonder if he's going down to, if he's trying to leave or if he's trying to.
You going to West Meridia? Shack Tool.
Yeah, I just you're basically banking on Shaq. I think he's just trying to leave. I think that's what he's up to.
Derp commentary says you can't leave.
Yeah, him not saving before this little venture is really, really costly.
Yep. Zeb found his way back to Main Street, and from Main Street over to Red Bryn. Where do you think we're going to find ice or speed?
Well, I mean, at this point, more than likely, one of them is going to be Ridley or Screw Attack. But theoretically, one could be in bowling or.
I was going to say golden. Yeah, I was going to say the golden Torizo check. I think that's going to be. I think that's going to have our speed booster. So give me the Screw Attack check or the golden Torizo check at speed booster.
Yeah, it's funny that the play Derp just made, technically speaking. Oh, we haven't checked bubble yet. This is part of why I was talking about earlier. I feel like the bubble checks are fairly fast if you have Varia, and that's why I would have gone there. Even if you don't find the progression, you might get like Space Jump or something. But anyway, I mean, you can make all kinds of critiques about what you should or shouldn't do. But yeah, the play that Derp just made, unfortunately, I'm not saying it's going to cost him, but it could be the thing that gets Zeb back in the race.
And this is why you race.
Yeah, at this point, Zeb is actually ahead.
Yep, you never know what you're going to find anywhere, and you never know if mistake, if someone forgets to save. You just never know. So Zeb now over in Lower Norfair, gonna knock this out. Pretty big check here. And we get the best music in the game now.
Gotta love the Lower Norfair Death March.
I think the first time I was doing Metroid Prime commentary and I was saying how much I love the Magmore Caverns, it's just like Lower Norfair. Someone then posted, I think in the Discord, like the Magmore Caverns orchestral version. I'm like, this is fantastic. There's also one for Front Fend, which is also really well done.
It's a good tune.
Mm-hmm. And Derp following up right behind. So yeah, Zeb now taking the lead.
And Zeb has the X-ray, which will probably make Batwoon and Dragon a good bit faster.
Agreed. Mentioned that earlier, the microwaving possibilities. Nicely done from Zeb to go through the Metal Pirates. I am going to be playing some randos of Super Metroid on my vacation coming up here. I'm headed to DreamHack Dallas this week.
Oh, have fun.
Thank you. I'm specifically going for IEM Dallas. So the Counter-Strike caster wants to go to the Counter-Strike event in the States. But yeah, like, I'm very much looking forward to go. It's just, wall jumping is not my strong suit.
That's okay. I don't know what Derp is doing right now, looking for items. Maybe he's trying to get an extra power bomb or something, but earlier he was turning down miners, and now he's like taking extra time to get them when he already has the upgraded beam. One thing that Derp does have potentially in his favor is Zeb could, theoretically, I don't think Zeb's going to do it, but theoretically Zeb could go check the left side, but I'm pretty confident that Zeb is just going to basically bank on like, all right, if it's Croc, I don't need whatever items over there. If it's Tourney, I'm having to come back anyway. So he's probably going to skip it. So I think at this point, Zeb is just kind of like in control at the moment.
Does Zeb skip the screw attack check?
Yeah, Zeb's pretty comfy with the Crystal Flash. But one thing you got to remember is right now, both of these players are probably going to unload the majority of their supers on Ridley. And so they're going to need to actually sit and farm before they leave here, or find some place to farm before they get to East Meridia. Space jump.
Nice find. They're not that far behind, about 30 seconds difference.
I'm not like hyper familiar with the entire map right now. The bugs that come out of Ridley's, like the pre-Ridley room, actually have a pretty nice drop rate for supers, and so with the grapple beam in particular, I might would have just sat there and done the RBO farm for a second. There might be a better opportunity later, but at least that one is guaranteed to you. I just don't know where all they're going to pass on their way. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, my assumption is that Zeb is just going to proactively choose not to go left here, which I think is the objectively right play. And so at this point, just kind of comes down to if he can maintain this lead, and then if either player, has any trouble with the Crystal Flash, especially since they do not have bombs. In my opinion, it's a little easier with bombs. But Zeb has a great setup for no items. Yeah, there Zeb goes.
Yep. And for those that are unfamiliar with what we're saying by doing the Crystal Flash, when you're in the room right before Batwoon, to be able to get there logically, you need Speed Booster to go and smash the Speed Booster blocks. You can use Ice Beam to bring one of the mock droids or whatever you want to call it with you. You jump on top of it while frozen, and you can clip up above it to get through to get to Batoon. You can Crystal Flash, which is a really advanced speedrunning technique, where you lay a power bomb in the upper right-hand corner of that spot where, like, you would jump up, Kip, to be able to hit and go off the ice jump. But you have to then jump back up to hit the power bomb at the precise time to be able to hit it, and it is not an easy thing to do.
No, I'm fairly confident. Someone in chat can correct me. I'm fairly confident that it's a frame perfect trick. But yeah, that super pack, those back-to-back super packs were incredibly helpful. Now Zeb doesn't have to farm. Derp, on the other hand, not only needs to farm the 10. I don't know why he's grabbing. He already saw this earlier. Oh, he saved it for the way out. Not a terrible play, but ironically, actually going to make it slower to Crystal Flash now, because he's got a damage down. Anyway, ironically, because Derp does not have that X-ray scope, not only does he need the 10 supers to do the Crystal Flash, but he would benefit from having extra supers for like Batoon, etc.
Correct.
But the 500 charge beam damage mitigates that a little bit.
Yep. And here comes the farming up from Derp. Takes 8 and is going to head on up. Zeb is in the lead. Not by much, but Zeb is in the lead. Oh, there you go. A nice super drop there as well. Doesn't cost him anything.
Technically still anybody's game. I think Zeb currently has more advantages than Derp.
Agreed.
Derp, what are you doing? Oh my god, that really upsets me. I'm sorry. Derp's my boy. He's been on a randomizer season team with me, but that's a situation where you literally cannot afford. You literally cannot afford to blow a super. And the easiest way to make sure that you do not blow it is to not angle shot it, just get underneath it and fire up. So technically, that one was 100% avoidable.
Yeah, that's the wasted super right there.
Well, he fired 2 at it, so that's rough.
Man, no ice beam with speed booster. If we don't find one of those soon here, Kip, it's gonna be a long way to get to Mother Brain on ammo.
Well, the only item left that presumably they will check is the one at Dragon.
Yeah, that's it.
And that one, if it is speed booster or ice, it would be the one that was not the logical one to get there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, they only have a 1 in, I don't know at this point, like 5 or something chance of it being one of those items.
And this is a safety save from Zeb. Zeb's gonna find Torian, and is very happy about that find.
Okay, Derp finally got a super right there. That's good.
11 supers for Derp. Ain't no room for error.
So my assumption is that Zeb is also going to take off the charge beam here, would be my assumption, because I think maybe not though. Maybe he has a different setup. I think the one that I learned required there to not be the charge beam, but maybe there's one that works with the charge beam that I'm not aware of.
There you go. Zeb is damage down.
Oh yeah, he's just Doing it raw here.
Yeah. First miss, second miss.
He's got another visual cue. I'm not sure exactly what his cue is, but yeah, here we go.
The Battle of the Crystal Flashes. This is Crystal Flash Skip.
I like Zeb's setup though, like the first part of the room to get to this point. I'd
Yes.
never thought about doing it that way. The way that I do it is a lot slower, so I need to go back and study this.
Who's gonna hit the Crystal Flash first?
Oh, Zeb
Nice.
got it on the next to last one.
Wow. Nicely done from Zeb. You see why this trick is so difficult. And there's the first of the two advantages for Zeb.
Derb's struggling a bit, not even getting a chance to get it to get it because he's like in the middle of other animation. Looks to me like he's a little early.
Derp on a power bomb is gonna reset and try again.
This is also part of what I was talking about earlier. Like, I get it. In the moment, it feels like you need to just go as fast as you can. But what I was referring to earlier with the Bubble Mountain checks is like, number one, you're not guaranteed to find the logical item over there. But you got 2 shots at it. You get an ice or speed. If you get them, you don't have to do the Crystal Flash.
Yep.
You also get benefit from them to go faster anyway. Like, you get faster Torian, faster escape, faster a bunch of other stuff if you happen to get one of them. And so, given the fact that you don't spend a ton of time over there, I would have liked that play better than just like going for it without feeling real comfortable with it. The fact that Derp is not immediately going for it again tells me that he is not feeling great about it.
Again, it's an extremely tough trick to do. Derp's gonna go for the Shack Tool item.
Yeah, and again, this is another one of those things, hindsight's 2020, but like if you don't have the save in Eastern Meridia, like technically you could have just tried to do this earlier. Like if you were gonna do this anyway, does that make sense? Like if you were gonna eventually make the decision to do this anyway, it would have been better to have just done it up front.
Early.
Hope to have gotten the item and then gotten the value.
I agree with you. Because if this is ice or a speed, you didn't just waste all that time trying to Crystal Flash. And waste is such a strong word. Spending all that time.
Zeb had a real nice Dragon there, and Zeb is on his way to Torian.
Zeb didn't even check the item, did he?
I don't think so. I was kind of looking at Derp.
Same. DJ's saying no.
Well,
it's screw attack.
Luckily for Derp, that ended up not mattering anyway.
For those of you just tuning in, I'm WXFan21, joined by Kip on commentary. Zeb316 is our amazing for this trio of races. And Zeb, now at the advantage, and again, X-Ray having a lot of advantage there against Botswoon and Dragon. Will be the first to enter Torian. And a happy Memorial Day weekend to all of you in the United States. And thank you so much to our brave men and women who have served, are serving, and will serve in the future. Thank you so much.
Well said, Adam. Also, while we're here, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been watching and supporting this tournament the entire weekend. When we decided to put it together, we thought, you know, the long tournaments are great, but, you know, we'd like to have a few more tournaments where it's just like maybe one weekend you knock one out, just a bunch of races all in a row, have a little bit of excitement. We had 17 players join us. We had a play-in to get to 16, and then a 16-player bracket. Everybody has been playing matches every day. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you to the players, but also to you guys for coming out to watch. We've had a great time.
Yeah, over 150 of you watching this live. Thank you so much. And again, like, I always enjoy doing comms with Kip. Kip and I always have a good time. And, you know, Dash is really your brainchild, Kip. And this has been a really fun first race here and a really good tournament overall.
Yeah, I mean, initially, a lot of the concept for it came from something that I wanted to do, but I really got to give a big shout out to the Dash dev team, especially for the work that we've put together over the last like year and a half to 2 years. A ton of extra stuff we've added. If you guys have not seen the dashrando.net in a while, I highly recommend you go check it out. Kupo has done a great job designing our website. We got several guys on our team: Mass, Kupo, Cassidy, Papa Schmo. Several people have done a lot of really, really great work, and so without them, this would literally not be possible. So, yeah, give it a shot. Check it out. We got a lot of cool features, and we can pretty much produce any kind of race seed that you're looking for. A lot of times, I was telling Adam off stream before we started, a lot of times when people hear Dash, they just think of the original difference between our major minor and the traditional major minor. We pretty much have everything up to speed these days with all of the normal kind of competitive racing styles. So check out the site.
Yeah, it's very well done. I was telling Kip again during pre-show here that, I'm someone that's relatively newer to Dash, and the way the website was set up was flawless, with the exception of someone needs to put the logic pieces into English for me, because that's just a long list of what look like Excel equations, but it's a wonderful site. Go check it out. Derp looks like he's ready to smash the Super Nintendo. And Zeb with now a commanding lead. But now, no Ice Beam, no Speed Booster. Gee, doing this room the way the developers actually intended it, huh, Kip?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that way, yeah. But
gee, there's
honestly,
a thought.
that is, even though this is a regular Chozo, this has nothing to do with any of the quote-unquote original Dash changes to Spazer. Like, none of those features are implemented for the settings for this tournament. But it's ironic because one of the reasons that we did that to begin with was because we thought it'd be an interesting thing to have a way to get through Botwoon that did not allow you to Zeb skip, like the Spazer Beam. And then when you got here, you'd pay a little bit of a price for it because you'd lose some of your ammo.
Kip, 500 damage does make, all this Mother Brain fight easier. Would you like to have more? Sure. But
but this is 36, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, in the grand scheme of all categories, is really not bad at all. I mean, like, even New Route, which is, probably the way most people that are running on the board play, is 60 shots. So 36 is not, not too bad. All right, Adam, looks like Zeb, barring some unfortunate escape shenanigans, is going to take down game number 1. This first race, what a back-and-forth affair.
Really has been. Very impressive by everyone all around here. And Zeb, looking again, should nothing crazy happen. Looks like it's going to take race 1. And Kip, I'm not going to lie to you. I think this goes 3. I just kind of want to see Derp hit the Crystal Flash skip now.
Ditto. It's the kind of trick where even if you're practiced, like because it's so tight, you just got to be one frame off, one way or the other.
Yeah.
So it's tough even if you practiced it. If you haven't practiced in a while and you like kind of forgot like where the cue is, then you're essentially drawing dead. And I think that's the case right now with derp. I think he's jumping a little too early.
Yeah. Some of them look like he was jumping at right about, the right time. But again, this isn't like you're on the ground doing. There's no right. This is you're doing a crystal flash up in the air, and that might be a forfeit there from did derp forfeit. Yes. I don't know when derp forfeit. Like derp right now is literally trying this crystal flash skip.
My assumption is that he did not, like we're watching the 10-minute delay, my assumption is that he did not forfeit yet. He's probably just going to practice it until Zeb finishes. And
correct. So, for those of you that have no idea, there was a 10-minute delay here on the restream, as opposed to the race time room. So, derp is going back to practice. I think derp knows too. As soon as they loaded up the practice room and had to take several resets, that this race, this race itself was probably over, and they'd end up losing game one. This is just weird seeing the practice hack in the middle of a race.
You don't see it in the middle of a race, in particular a finals. Never seen that before. Probably won't see it again. But, derp is a guy that marches to the beat of his own drum.
Mm-hmm. Salty Pigeon with the very appropriate line. Salty's ready for a derp-tastic comeback. Clean blue tower from Zeb. See, I think derp is getting close here.
Yeah, I think he was a good bit early in all of his attempts. I don't think he had a single late attempt in the run. But anyway, Zeb is going to finish in first place.
Woohoo! Go Zeb.
Congratulations to him going up 1-0. It's a very interesting feeling. I have been on this end of the feeling several times when you feel like you didn't play well or that it didn't really go your way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just waiting and you're like, well, I lost this one, but I'll finish. And then somehow or another you win. Like,
yep.
In some ways, there's relief because you won, but at the same time, it still doesn't feel great. So I'm sure he's eager to get back in and hopefully have a little bit of a smoother run in the next one. But that was a really complex seed. Generally speaking, up until kind of the end there, I feel like both players did some really good things there. So we will take a short break, and we will be back for race number 2 once the guys get rolling here. Adam, before we head out, any other thing you want to add?
No, GG's really tough seed, and hopefully easier seeds from here on in because, we saw an amazing race up until what ended up being the Crystal Flash skip decider. But it was really well done, and I'm looking forward to see. We already got game 2 underway, so folks, stay tuned. We're not going anywhere. Kip and I'll be back for game number 2. Right after this.
All right, see you soon.
All right. We're back, folks. It's game 2. It's Kip. It's WXFan21. Jestro Zooks on the tracking gimmick. Kip, well, race 1 didn't disappoint, but here's hoping for a somewhat easier race 2. And someone in chat was saying, here were the items from Kizatoon. Bombs at space, speed at plasma, and ice at screw attack.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's terrible.
That's a really objectively bad layout. But everything worked logically. It's just one of those ones that's painful. But yeah, first race goes to Zeb. This is race number 2 of the grand finals of the Dash Spring Invitational 2024. We've had a really, really fun weekend of races. We are hoping to do more kind of smaller, self-contained, quick tournaments like this in the future. And so far, I've been really happy with the results. We've had some really great races. I do want to take one moment to give a special thank you to Speed Gaming and their entire crew. It's always great to be working with them and collaborating with them. I do want to promote something else that they are doing coming up, and technically this is somewhat self-promotion too, but I think Friday, June the 14th is the start of like 10 straight days or something of SNES Superstars, which is a marathon. It will be here on the main Speed Gaming channel. I'm going to post the schedule in the chat real quick.
Nice.
If you take a look, you'll notice that your boy Kip is actually the very first runner of that entire event, assuming things don't change. So I'm excited to do a little low ice for the event, and also really happy to support the SNES Superstars and Speed Gaming in general. It'll be a lot of fun. We actually have a bunch of people from the Super Metroid community that will be doing runs during that marathon, so make sure to check that out here in a few weeks.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see, there it is. We got Super Metroid, Super Mario Bros. All-Stars, so much fun stuff. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is in there. I might need to check that out. Man,
SNES Superstar is always a ton of fun. A bunch of good games in there.
Okay. Shout out to Audra, who's gonna be going and running Super Metroid Subversion. That is gonna be a ton of fun. That is, of any of the ROM hacks that I've seen for Super Metroid, that thing is fire. That is so much fun. The Subversion one. That's one I gotta get into.
Yeah, that was a great ROM hack.
Mega Man Soccer made this. I'm just looking at this. This is awesome. What's closing this out? Oh, SMZ3 Combo Randomizer. And an Earthbound 80% glitchless as well on the final day. Oh, that's going to be a fun one.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but we did not find the logical power bomb yet, but they found, I think, double back-to-back power bombs in the minor item locations.
Correct.
And so they are able to check this this first portal. They find out that it is the Bacharach ship. Good knowledge to have. Not an impactful portal at the moment, but it'll be nice for them to know that they don't have to go check that later.
Come back. Right. So by putting that being the back of the wreck ship, it's like, okay, that takes out this criteria check and it takes the back of wreck ship, unless we logically need to get there, because these checks themselves are so out of the way. You know, we saw it in the last race. Backing into wreck ship, it takes so long to get through that area in a race. It's nice to say, okay, that's done, we don't get to deal with it. But it could logically be our only way into the wreck ship again, so we'll see. And old Mother Brain's got some missiles here. Again, single one of these power bomb checks is out of logic because we haven't found our logical power bombs yet. We found our logical supers. We haven't found logical power bombs yet.
The good news is this time they do not have to skip the 230 check, so we'll get to see what that is. Another kind of byproduct of running the 211 minor item distribution is typically, even though you're getting less supers, you usually have a higher likelihood of getting some power bombs, like multiple power bombs, and occasionally you'll get enough, like 2-packs early, to where not only can you check that portal down there, but you also have enough to where you can check Mother Brain and the 230 missiles without having to do a refill at the ship. If they'd only had one power bomb pack, they wouldn't have been able to do that. So that's a nice little byproduct of those early double power bombs.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping for bombs here. I want to see a little BT action.
That'd be nice.
Ooh.
Speed booster? Oh, it's not what you wanted, but it's a nice item to have.
It certainly is. Early speed booster, excellent. Not only will it help you with various things throughout the entire run, but you also know that you already have your Batoon access, which is nice. Looks like derp is going to go potentially save and refill here, but maybe more importantly, check the right side. Don't see a ton of super drops from those green pirates over there, but Zeb saw one and decided to go pick that super up. Let's see what we got over here in our first portal.
I thought that was Croc for a second.
Oh, derp isn't even doing the right side. He's doing the gauntlet. How about that?
There you go, derp. So, we get 10 power bombs. Why not? So, fun fact, we have an early red Bryn Star. It's the same early door we've seen now also in the last seed. Last seed, it was the first one. This time, it's the second.
So I almost hate to say this, right as Salty Pigeon talked about liking Gauntlet, I was actually just about to say that I don't really like this play very much by derp. Doesn't mean it can't work out, but the part of the reason I don't really prefer it right here is because part of the value of Gauntlet is if you spike one of those major items that's like speed, ice, something like that, but you already got speed booster, and so technically you've already limited the possibility of it being like one of the game changers because it obviously can't be a suit. So anyway, the wave beam probably not worth the time investment, but at the same time, you know, not a bad find. I will say in defense of the gauntlet check, I think it's better in Chozo probably than Major Minor because just the fact that you have a much smaller pool of items.
Yeah.
But I never blame anybody for doing it. I'm just saying, like, in a competitive race, especially like a grand finals like this, where you're trying to get every edge possible, it's going to be one that's a little. The value there is going to be probably a little bit less.
Oh, absolutely.
Love to see, man, 3 super packs this early in the run in this is actually really nice.
Alright, so we take a look at our doors early on. We have all the criteria doors that have been opened. Torian's been found. Torian is lower right side Bryn Star, but we have a lot of red Bryn checks. We have our lava dive check, and we've got green Bryn, which, like I said last race, this is a great area to find in the early game. So many item checks accessible to you.
Never feels bad to find green Bryn early. Technically the safest zone in terms of you're never really in danger of, you know, dying or getting killed. It's a nice find for derp there, the space jump. Oh, very astute for Zeb. Derp will eventually get there, but it's nice to find that space jump early in this red Bryn area and have it the entire time. But yeah, the finding green Bryn early is always a pleasant thing to find.
Absolutely. And that is exactly where derp is headed right now. So derp has wave from Gauntlet, space jump from Spazer Beam. And like you said, derp is going to come across and find that Varia suit. What do we got over here at Vanilla Supers? Vanilla Supers.
Hey, there we go.
Absolutely. A lot of supers already. 20 for Zeb, 15 for derp.
Yeah, that helps a ton. Also, unfortunately, we'll have to wait and kind of see. I'm not suggesting that 20 supers alone will do it, but if for some reason this ends up being a somewhat heavy super seed, every additional super pack that they pick up brings a little less value to that wave beam. So yeah, we'll kind of have to see what the distribution is the rest of the way.
And as a friendly reminder for everybody, charge beam is enabled. They need to find 2 charge upgrades. If they don't, the charge beam only does 20 damage. There's our logical power bombs.
And another pack.
Will there be a third? No.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd probably pick that missile up there. I'm probably not turning down missiles that are right in front of me until a little bit later.
We mentioned this last race.
Yeah, yeah.
Where is Upper Green Brin gonna take us? Would be kind of funny as if it was Kraid.
Yeah, that would actually be really nice.
Yeah. Get Kraid out of the way with first. Don't gotta go back that way.
That would be very nice, yeah.
Could be the front of wreck ship. Could be, you know, unlike last seed where we had a ton of Meridia doors open early, we only have Aqueduct open to us early. This could very well be a West Meridia door. And it's gonna be the Upper East Meridia door. So that's interesting. Zeb's face was like mine, like, okay. So both East Meridia doors found.
Kind of feels like that will likely be the last zone that each player clears before they go to Torian. So I feel like we won't be seeing East Meridia until the end.
Probably. Just the way the criteria doors are with Red Brin.
That and the fact that we already have Varia, and since Gravity can't be in East Meridia, and we already have our Batuan access, then that means that we don't have anything of significant value to be found there, like logically, item-wise, and so there's no real incentive to do it earlier. And then map-wise, it just makes more sense. So yeah, it looks like this is going to be a the hunt for Gravity, and then trying to find the other 3 boss locations to knock them out before heading to East Meridia to close it out.
Yep. So the question is going to be, where are all these Upper Norfair doors? I mean, last seed we saw a door connect to itself. We might find a couple of those here in this seed early on. Because Kraid's Lair, front of wreck ship, and back of Lower Norfair are the only access doors that we have. We got 4 West Meridia doors and 5 Upper Norfair doors. They could very well have some connections with each other.
Looks like Zeb's going to head back and do X-ray, and then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think either player has done the top of Red Brin, have they?
Nope. They got as far as Spazer, and that was it. So now Zeb's just going to fly through. Pick up some power bomb refills along the way. And this could turn out to be a very important item. Kip, I'm going to go with Ice Beam.
Let's find out.
Bombs! Very important item indeed. Not that we don't have 10,000 power bomb packs found already, but still.
Yeah, bombs is never like a bad item unless it's just super late and you only need like one thing. The only issue here is, as you pointed out, they already have an abundance of power bombs and that space jump already providing them with some utility for certain rooms, like worst room in the game, or if they needed to check screw for some reason. So, you know, slightly diminished value on the bombs, but personally, I'm a bombs fan. I like bombs a lot, so I'm never sad to see them.
Absolutely. And there's one of our Upper Norfair doors, and Zeb has decided, you know what? I'm taking it. So nicely done. Zeb's going to head to the wave location. Hey, here's something we didn't see last race, Kip. Bubble Mountain.
Yeah, kind of unique for us to not see Bubble Mountain at all in a run, but here we
Yeah.
are.
Just because there are quite a few item checks, and in Chozo, it's 2 major checks.
That's right, and the speed location has the double value of being a place where you can refill. Like, there's essentially never going to be a time in Randomizer where refilling at speed is like bad, unless it's just like a really interesting seed where you don't get there till way late or something. But generally speaking, you're going to need all those supers for something later. So it's a nice place to just go ahead and knock out a major and then farm to full.
Absolutely. So Zeb is probably about 1:30 to 2 minutes ahead of Derp right now. But it's early. It is very early.
Yeah, he's mainly the gauntlet difference.
Correct. Okay, that's double energy at Bubble Mountain. Derp gets their bombs. Also, big shout out to Zeb316 on tracking. Thank you so much for tracking.
Yeah, big shout outs to our guy Jestro, always down to help us out. And a really big Buffalo Bills fan. If you guys ever if you ever catch Jestro out in the wild, make sure to tell him go Bills. Bills Mafia.
Does that mean me as a Patriots fan needs to get off commentary now?
I'm mostly kidding. He's actually a big Jets fan.
I am so sorry. Ooh, did I say that?
Listen, I bought him a Jets sweatshirt last year, so technically speaking, I control him as much as I want. Once you give somebody a gift, it's not really to do something nice for him. It's just so you can do mean stuff later, right?
Listen, I mean, I'm an Elijah Moore fan, and I think he got shafted with the Jets, but that's a story for another time.
All right, let's check and see. I forgot that we had not seen this as Spacer.
Derp is like so many power bombs.
And Samus Eaters getting a little Memorial Day snack today. Technically, Derp isn't ahead. Derp has not done Bubble Mountain yet. Bubble Mountain is only 2 energy tanks.
Yep.
Why was he shooting that power?
If Derp doesn't do Bubble Mountain, that could be huge. Oh, hello, Croc.
Oh, here we go. This could be a turning point. All right.
Says, I don't need to go here.
I made the joke last night during Derp's interview at the end of his race with Audra. He was saying that he understands how Zeb plays, and he, and Zeb knows how he plays, and so he knows how to try to take advantage of certain things. And I made a joke in the chat about all he's talking about is going to do Croc. Well, here we are. So if this ends up being gravity, that's going to be game changing. If it is something that is not of significant consequence, which honestly at this point, the next best thing is probably plasma or ice. Neither one of those are going to be worth the time investment here. So it has to be gravity, or else this is a play that unfortunately for Derp is going to hurt.
And if this is gravity, that's huge.
If it's gravity, yeah, it's probably game over if it's gravity.
Yeah.
So for all of you out there that love the sort of lottery nature of some of the randomizers, well, this race is for you. You got what you like. Here it is. Big money, no whammies.
Yep, just brought this into Let's Make a Deal.
That's right. All right, let's see.
Oh, no, it's Spring Ball. I know there's some Spring Ball fans in Twitch chat, but does not help Derp, and this puts Zeb in a commanding lead now.
It does. Again, anything is possible, but this is kind of like two big investments in a row that Derp did not. That Derp did that Zeb did not do, and the payoff was very minimal.
Yep.
So if Gravity ends up being in a like at this point, Derp doesn't know this, but his best option is probably like Gravity at bowling, and then Zeb choosing not to do it. Beyond that, there's not a ton of outs left, other than some kind of death or something.
Yeah.
I would feel differently if they didn't already have one of the suits. Like if they were suitless still, I would have a different opinion because there'd still be more complexity. But like the nature of Chozo, like the way the game opens up to each individual suit, it limits some of the complexity that can happen. And in this case, there's not nearly as many options.
Okay. Zeb doing the ice beam location check.
Oh, there's the logical charge upgrade.
Mm-hmm. The first of the two.
I think at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, unless Zeb wants specifically to go check Gauntlet, I don't think he does. Unless he wants to go check Croc, I don't think he does. I think he is essentially looking for Kraid or Wreck Ship.
Correct.
And he wants to start checking the majors there and hope for the Gravity.
Well, there's your business Senator Main Street check. And there's your wrecked ship.
All right, here we go.
Derp, in the meantime, is going to go check the access to Lava Dive and has found a West Meridian door.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Derp and Zeb for one thing. A lot of players, including myself, usually do not play with the vanilla suits anymore because like I've got a bunch of other alternate colors I've made over the years that I really like. It's kind of neat seeing two players in the same race just doing the classic suit colors, so shout out to them for that. Derp, you double missed on it again, my guy. Just run up underneath it. Once again, Fantoon being pretty friendly to Zeb over there.
We'll see if Derp just flies to the wrecked ship, and he is. So Derp is going to be making up some ground here. Well, this was Gravity last time, Kip. Will it be Gravity again?
I don't think it will be. Let's find out.
No, but important. It's high jump boots.
I'm calling the Gravity at bowling because why not? Let's have some fun.
I like it. Also, do you see what happens, Kip, when we give Jestro colored markers to deal with? Look at our map. We give them colored pencils, and this is what we get. I'm kidding, Jestro.
Yeah, the visual tracking for area is really tough. I don't use that tracker not because it's a bad tracker, but my brain literally can't, like, I can't read it. Like, even when I'm on commentary and I'm staring at it, I still have a hard time with it. So a few years ago, Mass and I made one at my request that made it a little easier to look at, although I think this one works great for being on screen for everybody to see. Oh, there it is. Zeb is in business.
Yep. This could be a 2-0 for Zeb. But, Fishing Boo making a really good point. It's not confirmed yet, but Fishing Boo says if they notice the map right, it's back of Lower Norfair leading to Kraid. That's interesting. Those are the last two doors. So that one would be interesting.
So the neat thing here, I want to talk bigger picture about the settings for this tournament for just a moment.
By all means.
So one of the things that I was, first of all, I'm a fan of just kind of trying different things. I'm more interested in how things race, like from a meta perspective, than just the big picture how it works. And so when we decided to do this exact combination of settings, the thing I was most intrigued by is how starter charge would interface with Chozo in general, because a lot of times you wouldn't end up with quite as powerful of a beam, but you'd still be able to like finish the game if you wanted to, and you'd have to balance that with how many minor items you wanted to get, etc. Yep. Right now, unless Zeb runs into, we know he's not going to run into wave. If he runs into ice, it'll be faster in Torian, but not like a ton of damage. Plasma's the only thing that's going to bump his damage a ton. 80 damage per charge shot is less than you would get in a low ice run, like a vanilla low ice run. And so even though he has more supers and regular missiles, this would lead to a longer mother brain fight. So anyway, I have found it very refreshing that we've seen a slightly different style of boss fight in these combinations of settings. And I think how I was hoping it would work has actually kind of come to fruition. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Derp making his way over to get Gravity Suit. Derp probably not going to be happy when he finds it. He also was probably kind of hoping it was a bowling, being that was the last big out that Zeb probably wasn't going to go to.
Yeah, we might see a slightly disappointed face on Derp here. Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, he doesn't look very happy about it. Yeah, maybe he is happy, but at the same time, the 4 Norfair checks would not have been... Those would all, in combination, be slower, or those would have been faster than the 2 checks that he did.
Yep.
The Croc and I think Croc is the single slowest one in this.
I just want to, yeah.
Yeah,
I just
go
want
ahead.
to say this is, pardon my language. This is a stupid setup for maps. So let's just recap the stupidity of this logic. In order to get to Lower Norfair, alright, so let's go to Lower Norfair. You have to get to Lava Dive since the back end's in the Kraid. You have to go up into Criteria, which means where the racers are in Red Brinstar, you have to get from one of these squiggly lines to the other squiggly lines in Greenbrin. Greenbin to Criteria to Crabhole. Crabhole to Criteria to Moat to get to Lower Norfair. What the bleep?
Yeah, that's a fun one. Anytime you have a dead end connected to a double, which the doubles are Wreck Ship, Eastern Meridia, and Lower Norfair, the ones that only have 2, like 1 on each side. Anytime you get a dead end on the other side of one of them and they're required, it can be kind of tricky. I ended up being wrong in my prediction based on the way the rest of the map layout was done. Zeb doing Eastern Meridia before Lower Norfair and Kraid, but I still think it would have been more likely at the time. Like these exact portal layout is what made doing this earlier more viable.
Yep. Zeb taking at the bottom. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't looking at my monitor. I thought that was Spore Spawn for a second, and I was gonna say, what are they doing fighting Spore Spawn? See how much nicer it is to get to the bot room, front room, with Speed Booster, or anything that's not a Crystal Flash. It's so nice.
It is quite fast in comparison, that's for sure. Oh, Zeb disappointed in that. Obviously, he's thinking about his future fight with not only Ridley. It'd be nice to have 30 supers for Ridley, but also it'd been nice to have another super pack for Mother Brain in the future.
Yep. That's one of Derp's advantages right now. 40 supers. Derp at Aqueduct, Zeb at Dragon, so both in East Meridia. Should this go to a third map, it'll be Kip and the Salty Spittoon. I mean, Salty Pigeon. On commentary. It was right there, Kip.
Right.
Just right there. I'm just kidding, Salty. So Salty Pigeon will be taking over map 3. Should this go to map 3? Map 3. I cast way too much Counter-Strike. Game 3.
I think Zeb is currently undefeated in this tournament. I think he went 2-0 in every round. So if he were to hold on here, that would be an 8-0 run through the tournament. And he played some really strong opponents too.
Yeah. I'm laughing because that was a logical missile behind Dragon.
Nice.
Yeah, JX, if this goes to a third game, we're going to go play on Dust 2.
Oh, nice full happy by Derp. Nicely done there,
Nicely done, Derp. I'm just kidding there with that Counter-Strike reference. And, ooh, nice. That's the power bomb. Well, now begins the long journey to Lower Norfair. Then to Kraid. And then, because Rando's gonna Rando, once you're done defeating Kraid, who will be the last boss you get to, you have to go from Kraid's Lair to Lower Norfair, Lower Norfair up to Criteria. Criteria, all the way from the west side, all the way to Green Bryn to Red Bryn to Torian. So many intersecting lines on the map.
I want to say Grapple was Grapple at High Jump Boots this time. I think it had to be one of the Upper Norfair ones because Derp doesn't have it, but Zeb did have it. Not sure exactly where he found it, but
Which one?
I think Grapple was at High Jump Boots this seed.
Yes it was.
But yeah, Grapple's always one of those items that, like, you know, in most cases is not going to be the difference, but never want to, you know, never really sad to see it unless it's near the end of a run and you don't need it. Even just the Dragon value alone is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Now, Lower Norfair. And this is just going to be a straight race to defeat the bosses in the game. It's going to be very long, but still.
I think Derp accidentally bonked that door. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But he did, as pointed out in chat, did get a Wample jump as well on the way out, which is really nice. So that, he forgot that he didn't kill, or he left Botwin early, and it didn't register that Botwin was killed. That's always a bummer when that happens. Personally, yeah, that's a good question about which one do you do first. I was about to say I think I'd do Kraid first, but it just kind of depends. I think I would probably want to do Kraid first because this is just me. I personally feel more comfortable managing my health and knowing how much health I'm going to need without risking doing the reverse stuff, even though you can dodge those key hunters.
Right.
That's just me personally. Like, I've done the exit and then back to the left enough times in practice to know like what's going to work for me. So personally, I would do Kraid first, but I could see it both ways. Zeb having some real clean rooms. This is really nice. Like that looks sick. Is it the one where you jump twice and point down? Because if so, I think I already know that one. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a real good one. Sam is over here getting a little restless. She's mostly been chilling through these races, but now she wants a little attention. She knows that the end is near. The old charge beam 4 supers quick kill. You love to see it. Nice dodges there by Zeb. What is... Oh, well... Ice Beam's nice here, but honestly, that is literally, I think, the best possible find you could have there, and I still think it loses relative to the time investment.
You're so far away. You had a lot of ground to make up to begin with. You're a boss
ahead,
right
I'm sorry.
behind.
I think that check, if you're coming in that left side, I think that check, if you do it, somewhat optimally, is somewhere around like 50 seconds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then ice is only going to save you somewhere around like 30 to 40 seconds, I think, in Torian. Obviously, you get a little bit more on the damage, I suppose. So I guess there's that, but the value in that is significantly smaller. But anyway, he got paid off.
For sure. Energy tank. Like, I don't know if there's anything like except for Zeb maybe taking an unfortunate death, that Derp has a chance. It's possible. But the 100 to 80 damage is just... It's not a big enough gap. Now, if you were to tell me Derp found Plasma, and it's 500 damage or 600 damage versus 80, then okay.
He has exactly enough ammo here, just in missiles and supers. If he gets all of them to land, that is exactly 1,800 damage on Ridley.
Absolutely.
All right, he hit the most important ones first.
Yep.
Missed a missile right there. Not a big deal, but it'd be a lot friendlier if Ridley would pogo for Zeb there.
Yep. So Derp is heading to Ridley first. We'll head to Kraid after.
And he needs 2 charge shots. I don't think he's dead. Okay, now he's dead.
Ridley defeated for Zeb. Zeb can now just fly back to Torian.
How about that?
Wow. The one location you don't want if you're Derp. Well, Zeb now 300 damage.
Yeah, he's got new route beam damage, and he will have some additional ammo, that you wouldn't have. Like, I kind of think about everything in terms of like any percent, right? So, you got a 60 shot Mother Brain 2, but then you get to supplement with, he'll have several supers and, like maybe 20 missiles or something like that. So, yeah. Well, it won't be that long of a fight. Probably about a little over a minute, and he'll be cruising.
So for Zeb, it's a race out of Lava Dive to... I guess I'd go Lava Dive to Criteria to Crab Hole, go up to Green Hill Zone, get the Red Brinstar upper door, and then just head right to Torian. That would be what I would do.
Nice strat. He killed the... I don't see that too often. That's a nice strat. I like that. Killing the the left pirate on that wall. That's pretty fun.
Derp gets his plasma. Derp presumably taking a look at his map. So again, Zeb has cleared all bosses. Derp needs to go defeat Kraid.
Derp's got the wave and the ice, but Zeb found one of the charge upgrades. I assume that was probably maybe the ice beam location. I don't remember exactly where it was. I want to say it was in Upper Norfair, but it's funny how they have the same beam damage but a different combination. That's kind of neat.
Yep. Yep, it is the route that I said. And Zeb is flying.
Derp's health looking a little iffy right now, but he's still got to
not
be
the
Prey
greatest.
first.
Derp needs an energy tank.
All right, and Zeb will begin. After a refill on the Torian door, he will begin the process of killing the, 12? Is it 12 Metroids total? 4 in the first room, 2 in the second, and 3 in 3?
4, 3, 3, 3?
I think it's 2 in the second room.
Is it 4, 2, 3, 3?
You know, we were talking all big about the Lower Norfair music earlier, but I think we don't spend enough talking about what kind of a banger track Torian is.
It's actually not bad.
It's the kind of music you want to go to sleep to. Really puts you in a good mood, low stress.
I mean, if you want that kind of music, just listen to the Crash Frigate from Metroid Prime.
There you go.
And for Zeb, it is time. It's the baby.
Unfortunate, we got a Kraid stand up here.
That's unfortunate.
I think Salty pointed out earlier, long bottom, standing up here. Oh, derp.
Zeb
there we go.
Gets the baby skip.
Kraid was blocking his shot like he was Dikembe Mutombo.
Salty being funny in chat. When we're talking about the turd, you were talking about the turd music. It's like a hot tub filled with flesh-eating acid. So relaxing.
Right, yeah. 100%.
I wouldn't go that far, Salty, but okay. Zeb hitting the speed Zeb skip. All bosses defeated for both racers. Derp takes the energy refill. Is gonna need it to get through. Yeah, to get our
that finding that plasma at Ridley significantly gonna increase the speed with which Zeb can complete this fight. So we got basically new route damage and 13 extra supers and 21. That's what that's essentially like, I think that's 1/3 of the damage in ammo, and so technically this should be a 40-shot fight if Zeb chooses to use all the ammo. I've always called solo plasma the toothpaste beam. Looks like mint toothpaste coming out of the tube.
That is outstanding.
You just never get to see it in like a regular speed run because you never have a run where you only have plasma.
That's outstanding. Well done.
Oh, Zeb almost took one too many hits there, but is safe, and barring some type of unfortunate scenario here at Mother Brain 3 or the escape, we are going to be looking at a 2-0 victory for Zeb, an 8-0 run through this tournament, and champion
Huge.
of the Dash Spring Invitational 2024 tournament. Very exciting. Excellent performance.
Well done from Zeb. Well done from Derp as well. Both racers putting on an incredible best of 3, but it is Zeb who's looking like the 2-0 victory.
In the waning moments here, I will remind everybody, check out dashrando.net so you can find everything with our randomizer. There's also a link there to our Discord. Join our Discord server. We do async races every single week for fun. We have some future plans to do some other stuff as well. We do intend to do more smaller tournaments like this in the future. And we're also always looking for, ideas and feedback from people. Some of our features are legitimately things where people give us ideas and we're like, hey, we don't know if that'll work, but we'll take a look at it and see.
Absolutely.
We like to be pretty flexible and responsive to the feedback from the community. So yeah, get in there, join us and hang out with us and let us know what you think. But yeah, we are about a minute and a half, slightly less away from Zeb taking this thing down.
You got it. Also, shout out to Name over there in the Twitch chat. They say now we just need to get Dash Rando on DraftKings.
There we go.
Listen,
I'm sure that would be a popular decision.
I play way too much DraftKings. Where are my lineups? My main lineup didn't do well. Thank you, Cincinnati. But listen, I would gladly do analysis work for it. DraftKings has a bunch of fun contests.
Adding in professional betting to Super Metroid Randomizer, what could possibly go wrong? All right, guys, we are 2 rooms away.
DJ, this is not a sponsored stream. Gamble responsibly. It's true. Gamble responsibly, folks. I don't play with a big bankroll.
Guys, get your GGs in the chat for your champion, Zeb316, taking down the tournament. And I believe this is his first championship in a few years in some of these randomizer tournaments. So that's very exciting for him. I know he's been knocking on the door several times, even at SG Live last year, the in-person, I think he was the runner-up. So great to see him be the champion, a very worthy champion, a very excellent player. And looks like Zeb's going to be joining us here shortly.
Absolutely. GG's to both runners. What a best of 3. We've been treated to just absolute fun, but in the end, the gambles for Derp in the second race did not pay off, and it is Zeb comes away as the winner. And here they both are. Zeb, congratulations, champion, and GG's. Derp, condolences, but GG's as well. You take second place.
Yeah, GG's Zeb played really well. I made a couple mistakes, but I knew at the beginning, like, it was going to be hard to beat Zeb. This was his tournament, and really happy for him that he was able to show it.
Yeah, those seeds were the first one was so rough. First seed was really rough.
I can't believe I said, like, I can't believe I complained about the map before I realized, like, how bad the map was.
I thought you were ahead because you complained about the map before I realized, like, I thought that you realized, like, the whole map, and I was like, oh crap, I'm probably losing. But because I felt like my beginning of that race was so bad. Like, I went into Green Bryn. I was thinking about saving a power bomb by, like, destroying the charge blocks and the Spore Spawn blocks at the same time. But I was all like, nah, like there's got to be like either a power bomb, there's got to be like a place I can farm power bombs in one of the 2 portals or something I can follow, and there was just nothing. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm farming a power bomb from these bugs. And I think it took like close to 100 farms. I was counting, and it was over 90 for sure. But yeah, I lost like multiple minutes trying to just farm a power bomb to get back out, and then going into Upper Norfair was like, it did not feel good to go to Business Center there and then have to like farm for ice and then have to farm again to get back out. That is what it logically wanted, which I think is kind of crazy. That portal that brought you from the Business Center elevator.
2 Chozo takes then, right?
Yep, we had 2 Chozo takes. Yep, so that was what it expected you, and that's where you got the power bomb. So
goodness, yeah, I thought my early game was going bad because I also had to do the double farm, but it seems you had even more of an adventure.
Yeah, it was rough, and then like the way that the map was laid out was really, really tough. I was really happy that Torium was at the end of East Meridia, not Lower Norfair. I was really worried about that. But
yeah, I think I ended up going into East Meridia, finding G4 there, and then actually just leaving to go to LN first, hoping for like Icer Speed, which, as you know, was not there.
Mm-hmm.
I have not practiced.
Yeah, I went into Lower Norfair first because I was looking for Icer Speed before going into East Meridia. I also kind of like regretted not picking up power bombs. I picked up 25, but like when you're doing suit with CF clip, you kind of like the more power bombs the better. Like you just want as many chances as you can at that.
So I've got a quick question for the two of you, kind of separate from just the seeds, but Derp, I think you can correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think this is your first finals, or at least first finals in a while for a randomizer tournament. And then Zeb, how does it feel to be champion? So just tell us a little bit about how exciting it was to make it to the championship match here.
I'll let you go first.
I'm glad that I finally won one. I've been like in top 4 in the finals of a bunch of these, and it's nice to like get a win for the first time in I think SMRAT 2020 might have been the last time I really won one. So yeah, it's nice. Feels good to know that I still can win these. But even though I didn't have to go through some of the people that I normally lose to, it still feels good to win.
Who are you talking about?
I wonder.
Well, we've got good news for you, Zeb. There's an extra bonus boss. You and I are about to play a best of 3. Here we go. No, but in all seriousness, you played great, man. Going 8-0 in a 16-player bracket is maybe it's been done and I'm just not aware of it, but it's very hard to do with how good all the players are these days. So big congrats to you. I think you played awesome. And then Derp, you had a great tournament as well. Just tell us a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I only recently started playing Super Metroid again, like after semester ended at the beginning of the month. So I wasn't super practiced. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot. So I've been really impressed with myself, how I've been playing, how I've been routing, and it does continue my streak of doing a little bit better in every individual rando tourney. I was, I think, 4th in the last one, SG Live 2023, and then now it's 2nd in this one. So, in theory, we're coming up on the win next time.
That's right. That means you're going to win the mystery tournament.
The mystery tournament. I'm winning the map rando, I guess, even though I have not been doing well in map rando practice lately.
Well, before we kind of wrap this thing up, Adam, anything else that you would like to ask the runners?
Not really. I think just one thing overall. Look, you both are very experienced runners at this. What did you think of how this tournament was set up? Chozo, standard settings, area rando. How did you think this particular setup played into either your strengths or weaknesses?
Well, I really like the setup. I thought that it was like a very interesting twist on the usual Chozo vanilla bosses area settings. Because of that star charge beam, I think that really changed the way that this played, and the fact that you could only ever get up to like the regular charge beam, and you're unlikely to find both charge upgrades because one's a minor and one's a major. So I think that it made it play like ammo was a really interesting. I feel like it was like very unique in how you wanted to approach the ammo situation in this compared to most tournaments, and I think that made it pretty fun to have to like think about that.
Yep.
And to have to like kind of adjust to that. But I think that ammo kind of stuff is one of my strengths, so I think that like really helped me through this tournament. I think that last race, I actually think I played really well with ammo management. I think that was like one of the things I was the happiest with in that last race. I just think that like the way I managed ammo, the way I decided to pick up ammo to be able to kill Ridley but no more, basically. I was really happy with that, how that turned out.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree with most of what Zeb said. I don't think we really figured out exactly, or at least I didn't figure out exactly what like the optimal ammo strategy for a lot of like for the general logic was. So there are a lot of races in this where I was like, I feel like I'm picking up too many missiles or too few missiles, but that was just another thing that I knew Zeb was really good at, so another challenge. But I do think it's very cool settings.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. Like I said, I think talking a little bit yesterday, I do think the extra wrinkle it added was pretty healthy, like a slightly different meta. And I agree with what Derp said. Like that was kind of the fun for me and the prep that I did. Like even by the time I was like running the races, I didn't feel like I 100% knew for sure like what the optimal thing was. But that's also kind of like a fun place to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Kip, I got nothing else.
All right. Well,
wrap things up and get us out of here.
Yeah, I do. I actually do want to just take a moment real quick. First of all, let me start with Zeb and Derp. Zeb, once again, big congratulations. A very worthy champion. Really happy that you won. You had an excellent performance. And Derp, also a worthy runner-up. It was awesome to get to watch you guys race. I hope y'all had fun in the tournament in general. I do want to start thanking several people. I want to start with actually everybody that participated, like the players. You know, you have to be able to fit something like this in your schedule. The fact that we had enough players to field a full 16-player bracket was really awesome to see. Everybody got their races in. I didn't really have to do any, significant work with the schedule to make it happen. Everybody kind of took care of business, and it was really cool to see people come out and support this. So I really sincerely want to thank the players for that. I also want to give a big shout out to every single person that helped us with comms and tracking throughout this entire process. We would not be able to do the restreams without that. Third, I would like to give a big shout out to Apathy Duck and Speed Gaming for helping us to put this on. It would have been fun to do it even if we didn't have restreams, but I think having restreams adds that little extra element of hype and fun and competitiveness and the fun, entertaining product. And then finally, the Dash Dev team, particularly for this tournament, like everybody on the dev team has contributed a lot, but for this tournament specifically, I really cannot explain how much work Mass and Kupo did in a very short time frame to be able to get this working. We're constantly working on new features, not only for the website and the randomizer, but also for just the competition in general. We're working on some bot action, doing some other things with our website. So it was really fun to be able to put that together, and I really appreciate those two guys giving a lot of their time to the project. So I had an excellent time. I feel really good about how this went, and I'd like to do more of this. So thanks to everybody out there for watching and enjoying it. And then finally, be on the lookout for, we have a mystery tournament coming up, which will be the Dash Randomizer, actually. Tracy approached us a while back and asked us if we could do some work to set up something for the mystery tournament. you'll get more information about that soon. That's going to be one of our bigger tournaments leading into SG Live. And so, yeah, just really excited. And I guess that's going to be it. So on behalf of the Dash Dev team and everybody else that participated, we will see you guys next mission.